We have an awesome and amazing group of ladies here tonight to talk about their upcoming release of How I Got Over the Educational Pursuit of Black Female Authors. I'm so excited. Again, this is Write the Book Now, and I'm Dr. Sharon. And ladies, good evening to you all.
Hello.
We are
Good
excited.
evening.
Oh my, yes, we are excited. It is just a few short days before you guys are going to start your pre-sales. And so we're here just to find out a little bit about who you are and about your chapters. And of course, I've got to start with our dynamic visionary author, Dr. Pia L. Scott. Pia, the doctor. How are you? Pia,
I'm doing great.
Awesome. From Atlanta. Oh my goodness. So Pia, please start out with an introduction of who you are.
So once again, I'm Dr. Pia L. Scott, the visionary author of How I Got Over the Educational Pursuit of Black Female Scholars. And I am just so excited. I am elated. I have some wonderful ladies that are my co-authors, and I'm just really excited about this opportunity.
And you really put together a stellar lineup, I must say.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Oh my God. Thank you so much. And Dr. Danielle, you're also here today with us. Please introduce yourself.
So good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I am Dr. Danielle Sweat Whylly, and I am a social worker. I am originally from the Bronx in New York City and moved here to Georgia. I currently live in the metro Atlanta area, and I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University. So I'm a FAMU Rattler, a two-time Rattler, and I'm also a graduate of the Whitney M. Young Jr. School of Social Work for my doctoral program at Clark Atlanta University. So I'm also a Black Panther, go Black Panthers. And I currently am employed at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia, doing primarily community outreach, creating and implementing crime prevention programs for youth and reentry programs for adults leaving the criminal justice system.
Awesome. Welcome, Dr. Whylly. And we also have Janeé Stevenson. Welcome, Janeé.
Hi, how are you? So my name is, again, Janeé Stevenson. I am in my final year of my doctoral program. I am in a clinical psychology program. My school is Chestnut Hill College in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm currently completing my final requirement in my program, which is an internship at the University of Houston. So some of my interests, I really enjoy working with the emerging adult population, which is a fancy term of just college students who have just recently launched from home. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to kind of work with them as they deal with different struggles academically, socially, and maybe having issues with kind of leaving their family, or actually coming in with some existential crisis of some sort. But having the opportunity of being able to kind of walk with them through that journey. So that's one of my passions. The other passion is really working with and supporting Black women. So those are my passions. Thank you for having me.
I love it. Thank you. And we also have Dr. Jermani Thompson. Please introduce yourself, Dr. Jermani.
Thank you very much, Dr. Porter, and thank you, Pia, for inviting me to join in this wonderful collaboration with some very dynamic women. My name is Jermani Thompson, and I currently hold a PhD in industrial organizational psychology, and my full-time job is as a senior consultant for a major financial institution, and I also am the principal consultant of my own firm, which is J Squared Management Consulting, and I thoroughly enjoy that. I currently reside in Metro Atlanta with my one young son, and people say, what is IO psychology? It is nothing more than a fancy term for the science of how and why people do what they do at work. So I don't psychoanalyze people, and I don't have a degree in clinical psychology, but I do make sure that as a science practitioner, I help the people that I consult as well as my company figure out better ways to make all of you have great days at work. My inspiration for my chapter was Yet I Rose. Many people don't understand the unique struggle that African American women go through in this modern day society of trying to be a scholar, a mother, a teacher, and everything. So I look forward to hearing what the other ladies have to say, and we'll get back to me. But the takeaways we'll talk about in just a moment, Dr. Sharon.
Okay, thank you so much. And Yavetta Wood, Dr. Wood, welcome to Write the Book Now. Please share who you are.
Yes, hi. My toddler's having a meltdown. My name is Dr. Yavetta Wood. I am a internal medicine physician, predominantly working in the inpatient setting. And some of my passions are, focusing on health in our community, as well as women's health, very important to me. The inspiration for my chapter was my grandmother, who has shaped me in many, many ways. So pretty much I am so honored to be a part of this experience with all of you wonderful ladies. And I guess the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. And the little one that says, you're not going to do this without her.
No.
That's awesome. All right. And Dr. Tina Shell, please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Dr. Latinia Shell. Very honored to be in the house with all of you fabulous ladies. I was born and currently reside in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Amishtown. For those of you who haven't visited here, it's a really great tourist area to come and visit. In terms of my education, I have a degree in psychology from Millersville University, as well as a master's degree in counseling education from Millersville. And my doctorate degree is in counseling psychology from Argosy University. Currently, I am the assistant director of the graduate counseling program at Michio Seminary in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, where I also teach graduate counseling courses. And also excited to share that this is my 6th year in private practice, so celebrating my anniversary. So it's been great. And at my private practice, I provide counseling services, supervision, consultation, and training. And my research and interest and passion is in multicultural and social justice and wellness and health. So let's see here. What else? I am a proud mother of I have a 13-year-old. My son is 13 years old, and just enjoy traveling, dancing, playing tennis, and anything that has to do with seafood.
I love it. Well, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. And so we're going to move to Dr. Kennedi Dixon. Please, Dr. Dixon, introduce yourself.
Hello, fabulous ladies. I bring you greetings from the Windy City, none other than Chicago, Illinois. I'm very excited to be here. I'm actually born and raised in Maywood, Illinois, and I'm just so excited to be a part of this. This is my 24th year in education. This is my 22nd year of marriage and my 25th year of membership in Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So it's a big year for me. I am a special educator. I've been a special educator for the last 24 years. I've been in administration as a director for the last 15 years. My bachelor's degree is in special education from Western Illinois University. My master's degree is in school administration from Concordia University. My doctorate degree is from DePaul University, home of the Vincentians, home of social justice and the urban teaching framework. My research interests are in social justice and culturally relevant curriculum. I met Pia at a doctoral conference and we just clicked right away. So I'm so excited to be a part of this. What I want to share with individuals who will be reading this book is that delay and denial are two different things. My story is it took me a very long time to finish because of many things that were out of my control. But at the end of the day, it's about finishing what you started. So that's what I want people to take away. That was my inspiration to just finish what I started. And I will take a step back to just say some folks poured so much into me. So this was necessary for me to do.
That's that Delta fortitude.
Oh, yes. And,
Yeah.
it's exactly, it is actually my story as well. So I feel that. And on the phone, all the way in San Francisco, California, is none other than Dr. Elizabeth Holder. Dr. Holder, are you there?
Hey,
Please,
I'm here, everybody.
please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Liz Holder. I am an East Coast girl, currently on the West Coast today working. I am the National Patient Experience Director for Aramark Healthcare and Hospitality. That is a newly created role for myself, which kind of gave me inspiration for my chapter, which is the evolution of a pioneer. It was something new for my organization, and I'm really excited about my role because it's really around just creating better experiences for patients and families as they visit our partners in the healthcare setting. So I'm really excited about that. Some of my other passions just through my work, line of work, I was just recently funded some funding through Aramark to help high schoolers gain just more information around career development and access to college education. So I'm really excited about that program, which is launching tomorrow. We have our first class in Philadelphia. I kind of need to go back. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia, so I'm a Philadelphia native. And so I'm really excited about this project. I'm really grateful about the connection with Tia and being able to just share my story and, you know, how I've been able to make it over, and I'm continuing to press through different challenges and triumphs. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And we're going to get back with you in just a second. And actually, Liz, after we finish, I'll start with you because I know that you're driving. So, so Thea, Dr. Barton, you are up next. Please introduce yourself. Is Dr. Barton on here? Okay. Dr. Barton? Okay. So, Liz, are you still there?
I am here.
Okay, so we're going to go to you. I'm not sure what happened to Thea, but we're going to go to you now because, again, I know that you're driving out in the West Coast, so I'm going to go ahead and just so that you can make sure you're focused on the road. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, your chapter, maybe give us your title, your inspiration for the content that you shared, and also your takeaways that you would like for the reader to leave with.
Sure. So the title of my chapter is called The Evolution of a Pioneer. And so I have to, I guess, kind of say there are different inspirations because I kind of talk about my early beginnings as a little girl growing up in the inner city of North Philadelphia and being raised by a mom who only had a high school education, but really just aspired for me to have more and to do more in my life. So I kind of have to start there. And then I guess above all, my inspiration is really just my relationship with Christ, which I talk a lot about, that really has helped me to stay grounded, even through some challenges that I faced so far in the workplace, as well as in my educational journey. So I would say that those have been my inspirations. If I talk about 3 takeaways from my book, I just really want, number one, for the learner, I kind of talk about you know, again, I talked about my my journey as a kid, and then, you know, going into undergrad, it was a little rocky for me because I aspired to become a medical doctor, and so I kind of felt like all hope was lost because those science classes I wasn't picking up and I wasn't doing as well as I thought I would have, transitioning from high school, and so just through mentorship, through my professors and them encouraging me, I was able to, you know, still live out my dreams of becoming a doctor and just exploring other ways to become a doctor, other than being in, you know, the medical profession. So I guess that's one key takeaway. Just, you know, don't give up. You know, whatever it is that you aspire to do, you're going to hit hurdles. You're going to hit obstacles. However, you know, keep pressing and keep driving. Some other things that I kind of shared is just being a Black woman, right? There have been some challenges, just even as, you know, acceptance and sometimes growing through leadership. And being in environments where sometimes you're the only one, and people not being really receptive of you being educated, right? Being knowledgeable. And so I kind of share those challenges as well in my chapter, just to kind of say, you know, I think it's so important for us to have a high sense of emotional intelligence And when we face those different trying times, to just remember who we are, and to remember that we are strong, and it's what we believe in ourselves. That's important. It's not about what other people believe in us, and that's what needs to shine through us. So I wanted to leave that with the reader. And then my final point would be, I kind of shared some key points as it related to just going through my doctoral program and just going through my educational journey, making sure you have a mentor and just believing in yourself. I have to say, even in my current job, this was a job that never existed. I'm the first person within my organization. The Lord has really afforded me a wonderful opportunity to be on a national platform for Fortune 500 organization, and I'm really grateful for that. And so really the evolution of a pioneer means you're going to face obstacles, you're going to face challenges, but remember who you are and remember who you belong to, right? And so I believe that I belong to the Lord Jesus Christ, and that he's my savior. And so as long as I have him by my side, I know that I can overcome all challenges, because I know that all things work together for the good of them that love God and who are called according to his purpose. So I just wanted to leave that with the reader. Whoever you believe in, hold strong to that and believe in it. And I believe that mindset and those belief systems will help you to overcome.
I love it. Thank you. Romans 8:28. All things work together for good. I love it. And so, and what she talked about was believe in yourself and don't give up. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much. We look so forward to reading your chapter at the release of How I Got Over. Thank you, Dr. Liz. And we are going to
Thank you, Dr. Sharon.
Absolutely. And so we're going to go back to our visionary author. And I tell you, I have to give the backstory. Dr. Scott, and you were in the class of 2017 as a co-author. We had both just finished our doctoral program in 2017. And I hadn't met you actually until the book signing. And so it was so awesome. And so we actually talked about the creation of what you're doing right now. And so I just want to first applaud you on sticking to what your vision was, because we sat in my family room and you talked about this. And here it is. So it's really giving me chills because you said it and it manifested. So congratulations to you. So please, Dr. Pia, tell us what your inspiration was, and then also what your takeaways are for your readers.
So, just coming and being a native of Charleston, South Carolina, Mount Pleasant in particular, just my inspiration was my grandmother and my family, and seeing a lot of the educated women in my family, and also talking to my grandmother who went from domestic to a business owner to, raising children. I call it the balancing act because she did so many different things. She wore so many different hats. And even though she wasn't the most educated, she always said that you have to be better. You have to be better. You have to do more, than other people who don't look like you. So I always remember that and have that in the back of my mind, and I can hear her say that. So what I do, I'm just inspired by so many people who don't know what their purpose is. So the title of my chapter, there's power and purpose. And when you know your purpose, you can walk in it. It comes to you. It's natural. It's something that you become happier when you're operating in your purpose. And I am just so blessed that I've known what my purpose has been for a long time, and that's working with young people, providing a way and inspiring them that they don't have to do things that other people do. You can be a leader. You can think for yourself, and it's okay to think for yourself. So that is just something that I'm just inspired by. I've seen people who they want to do things, but they have that fear, and they let that fear hold on to them. And so they can't operate in their purpose because of that fear that's, in the way. And so some things that I really want people to take away is having pride, determination, and resilience, the PDR, which I actually got from a movie, but it made so much sense because when you are walking in your purpose, you have this pride. Be prideful in what you do and be proud of what you're doing. Always be determined. So no matter what the situation is, determination, you can get through it. And that resilience is just keeping at it. Even when things may throw you off course, each one of these ladies, we all have a different course. We all got, different issues and challenges, but we all persevered. We had the pride, the determination, and we have the resilience. And that's why we're all here today, to let other people see that in us, and that they too can do it if that is what they choose to do. So that's something that I'm passionate about, is my purpose.
I love it. I tell you, there is power in purpose, and you have to have pride, determination, and resilience. Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Pia. Oh my goodness. So we're going to move on to Dr. Whylly. Dr. Whylly, please share your inspiration for your chapter and then the takeaways you would like your readers to have.
So the chapter of my title of my chapter is Winners Never Quit and Quitters Never Win. And I used a quote from Nelson Mandela that says, I never lose, I only win or learn. I never lose, I only win or I learn. And the inspiration for my chapter was really my mom and my dad and my grandmothers, because each one of them, to me, in reflecting back on my childhood and just some of the things that I've had to endure and persevere through, which is something you've heard, that'll be a common theme in all of our chapters, I'm sure, was that these individuals really showed me what endurance and perseverance looks like. And knowing the things that my mom had to endure and overcome, things that my dad has overcome, including incarceration and rebuilding his life, and my grandmothers just being the strong matriarchs that they, one was who's passed on, and one that is who's still with us. They have really inspired me on, from when I heard the title, How I Got Over, I said, oh yes, I definitely have something to contribute for that. You've heard some of the central themes, hurdles, challenges, thriving, emotional intelligence, strength, obstacles, purpose. Pia, I love PDR. I'm definitely gonna copyright that, and I'm definitely gonna use that. But something else that was mentioned was remember. I always remind myself of things that I've had to endure and persevere through in order to keep going. And I cannot help but get, emotional when I think about how much it takes to achieve your purpose and to work and move in your purpose. So the takeaways from my chapter, I would say, would be push past the pain. That's something that my Pastor Tuff, she helped me tremendously with just one message: push past the pain. That's what I've been doing and continue to do. And that's what you have to do in order to overcome. Another takeaway I would say is to set goals for yourself in order to achieve your vision. You can't just wander out here in the wilderness randomly and expect things to happen. You have to be intentional. There's so many distractions to keep us from that purpose. And so you have to set goals in order to achieve the vision you have for yourself. Not what someone else has for you, but what you have for yourself. which could be far different from what anybody else would think of you and different from what has ever been done in your family. And that's something that I set out for myself to achieve, just doing something different. Nothing wrong with being different. And the final thing I would say as a takeaway from my chapter would be never give up on yourself. There's so many things that would try to have you give up on yourself and tell you you can't do it, you can't make it, you can't complete this, you can't go back and do that, it's too late. And that's all a lie. That's not true. And if you never give up on yourself, I don't care how old you are when you do whatever it is you set out to do, it can be done. And it will be done if you believe that you can do it and never give up. So those are my things. And I don't apologize for my tears, because
absolutely not.
That's why.
I tell you, and really listening and feeling the passion that you have, because truly, no matter where we are, what we've gone through, we've had to face obstacles. We've had to face trials. And that's my whole platform, is to let people know that it's doable. You're going to have those challenges, but you got to, as you say, push past the pain. I love that. So thank you, Dr. Whylly. Thank you. So next we're going to go with Janeé Stevenson. Please share your inspiration as well as your takeaways.
Sure. So the title of my chapter is I Am Not Who They Say I Am More. And so the inspiration behind that title, I kind of feel like women, in particular Black women, we're oftentimes sort of given these roles very early on, and sort of have these roles defined for us. And so whether that is being a nurturer, or whether that is kind of being the sassy caricature, or being the sex symbol, I feel like a lot of times society sort of set the standards for who we are as Black women. And, I believe, and what I would love for readers to kind of take away is that we very well may be nurturers. We may have a little sassiness to us from time to time, but we're that and so much more. And so that's what makes us such dynamic beings. And so my hope is that people feel inspired by that, and not just kind of get pigeonholed into kind of what people kind of say they are, but kind of be able to see that they are so much more than that as well. In terms of, my chapter, I really focused on, taking readers through a journey, starting with this little Black girl that was born in Camden, New Jersey, was raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was educated in the Philadelphia public school. And so if I was just to stop there, the expectation of me being where I am right now is kind of like, really? And so, I really wanted to highlight the fact that I've been really blessed to have a supportive family, a supportive husband, but also I've had people in my life in high school who really saw my potential way before I was able to see it. And so as a result of that, they really poured into me and sort of, sometimes sort of forced me into kind of doing things that, I didn't realize was good for me. So I'm really appreciative of that. But also I talked about kind of my professional experiences of, being in my program and a lot of times being the only one, the only Black person, the only Black girl, and my experiences being very different from my white counterparts in terms of kind of like what they were dealing with, what they were experiencing, certain financial privileges that they had that I, could not relate to in any kind of way. And as a result, feeling isolated and sort of alienated throughout that process. So I talked about that, as well as kind of my experiences of experiencing microaggressions through when I would have to do different practicums and, working and having a white supervisor who made a lot of assumptions about me and had various conversations in my presence that, made me feel sort of small. And as a result, trying to manage kind of like, how do I, not respond in a way that is expected of me, in terms of in a negative way, but also the importance of sort of having those conversations that sometimes are difficult, even given, someone being in a supervisor position, or, in a, who has a little bit more power than me in that position. In terms of takeaways, my hope is that people feel inspired, that people feel empowered, and that people, readers are at the point where they are willing to kind of redefine the roles, or redefine themselves different than what maybe society may see or expect them as, being a Black woman. So.
Well, thank you so much. And I love that. I am not who I say I am. I am more. That's powerful. Thank you. Absolutely. And so we're going to move on to Dr. Yavetta Wood. Please share your inspiration as well as your takeaways.
Sure. So the title of my chapter is Regardless of the Storms, Only You Can Change Your Life. And I also included an excerpt from favorite poem, one of my favorite poems that I, for some reason, had identified with even as a child, and that's Langston Hughes' poem, Mother to Son. And so in my chapter, I go through, no different than the other ladies, sort of, my upbringing, being raised in initially a dual parent household by my grandparents, and then having some tragedy and having to then move with my mother, which was pretty earth-shattering within itself, going from dual parent to single parent in the inner city in Philadelphia, and pretty much the toll that took on my psyche, but as a whole, never forgetting how important my grandmother's influence was. We still remained very close. And so I talk about my journey from, pretty much wanting to be the first in my family to graduate from college, which I am, to discussing her death and how that affected me pretty profoundly. Just digress a bit, my grandmother named me, so we have been kind of joined at the hip since I was born. So her death completely altered the trajectory of my life. And so I went from wanting to be the first to graduate to the first in my family to become a medical physician. And it was tough. Janeé and some of the other ladies touched on, being the only one. I was the only one all the time, but still found strength within, mostly from relying on the lessons that she taught me, because those transcend time. And so my takeaways from my chapter are, perseverance, remembering your passion, your reasons. It helped me to have a person to focus on, because I knew that through her I could do anything, and through having, faith in God, of course. But ultimately, once I set my mind on something, it's going to happen. But it definitely was not without challenges. It was not without many, long crying nights. But in the end, if you believe in yourself, as well as, not to let yourself be distracted or discouraged by those whom, don't feel that you should be where you are. I mean, even as an attending physician, I've been practicing for over 10 years. I still sometimes have to remind people, hey, I do belong here, and you're not going to tell me otherwise. It's interesting how people tend to, want to treat us differently because not just the color of our skin, but we may look younger than they think we should, considering. And all of that, I think, has importance, and it's something that we can all probably identify with. But certainly, I hope that my chapter inspires someone who maybe has those insecurities and feels that because of these outside forces, they're not really able to accomplish, something that seems unattainable.
Just awesome. I really, I'm just so fascinated, you know, and I always say, when I introduce myself as doctor, I always say educational, don't get confused with medical. So I definitely applaud you guys that, you know, really went through all of the things that you had to become a physician. And I think it's awesome. The one thing, and this is really to Pia and your putting together this awesome, amazing group, is that the variety of educated Black women that she has put together. It is phenomenal. So Dr. Wood, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for all that you do as well.
Thank you.
So we're going to move to Dr. Latina Shell. Please share, Tina, your inspiration as well as your takeaways.
Yes, good evening. And I also want to echo, Dr. Sharon, you had mentioned regarding Pia and her vision and how that all came to fruition. Well, for me, Pia and I attended a conference last August. It was the Black Therapist Rock Conference. And we actually attended a session on what it takes to write a book. And I remember leaving there and I said, okay, Pia, okay, what is the intention? And she basically, what we're doing now definitely came to light. And she set her intention on creating this platform for all of us powerful women to come together and share our stories. And here we are right now. So I just wanted to also echo your sentiments and say, whoop, whoop, we're doing the daggone thing. So my chapter is titled From the Projects to the Professoriate. And wouldn't take anything from my journey to discovering my purpose. So again, that P word, purpose. So yes, I grew up in the projects, single parent mom, father was incarcerated. So again, echoing a lot of the stories as all of the phenomenal women on tonight. So really it's just about perseverance, and really wanted to reflect upon two quotes. The first one is, we are because I am, and because I am, therefore we are, by John Mabiti. The group, the collective, you know, we have to make sure that we're taking care of each other. You know, back during slavery, we weren't able to read and write. And so it was the responsibility to make sure that we take care of one another. Another quote, each one, reach one, teach one. So through all of us, you know, we have the power to reach back and help pull others up in terms of their educational pursuits. So along with that, you know, just looking at all of the triumphs in terms of being a mother, a wife, a student, a full-time worker, you know, balancing all of that. It was really difficult. And I remember there were times when I was just like, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. Not one more day, not one more hour, not one more, like I was ready to just give up. So I really want to be that inspiration for, first of all, those students those doc students who are currently in their programs, to let them know that, look, you can do this. There is light at the end of this. We can be your light. We've done it. We've accomplished it. But, you know, also currently, I mean, we're all professional women now. So even now it's difficult. So, you know, just to encourage us all to continue to do what we're doing and finding that purpose, that is so very important. In terms of my takeaways, I will say, again, number one, never, ever, ever give up. Never give up. Make sure that you have that higher power. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Self-care is so important. We get burned down. We take on so many things, but we have to remember to refuel ourselves. And I call it self-full and not selfish. We need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We need to be motivated. We can't always look for somebody else to fill us up or to motivate us. We need to be able to motivate ourselves. We need to have support systems. We need to have our cohort members that can help us out, our family, our friends. We need to have colleagues. We need to have mentors. Someone else mentioned mentors. I would definitely not be where I am today if it were not for the mentors in my life. I'd like to send a special heavenly shout out to Dr. Rita Smith-Waddell, who is a soror and also a former professor who poured her soul into all of her students and just pushed me to really go on and further my degree and my doctorate degree. So this is for Dr. Rita Smith-Waddell too. and all of my wonderful mentors, lots of mentors. And I'd like to leave with a couple other quotes, and it is, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Always try again. And also from Dr. Seuss, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. So thank you all for having me. I enjoyed this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I tell you, guys, you better get your coins ready to get this book because it is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Dr. Kennedi Dixon, you are on the hot seat next, so please share your inspiration as well as your takeaways.
Next to me, and so I'll be I'm just happy to be here. So I will be unapologetic, as my sister said, about some tears that may flow, because this journey, you're going to cry. If someone tells you that you're not going to cry, they're not telling you the truth. The title of my chapter is Denial Does Not Mean Defeat. Determination finishes the course. And the story behind that is that it took me 7 years to finish a 4-year degree. And in a nutshell, my first committee consisted of European middle-aged women who did not understand my topic. They were afraid for me to talk about. My dissertation was about Black males with a past history of enrollment in special education that successfully transitioned to college. So you hear so much about Black males that go into special education, but you don't hear those voices in that story about those young men that come out. So in my journey of 7 years, it was a lot of obstacles, and that's where that title came from. But I believe someone else said purpose. There was a purpose. I had to go through that because now I can tell someone else who is at their lowest point and they're ready to give up that you're not going to give up. You're going to finish the course. Don't worry about everybody who is finishing around you. When it's your time, it's your time. When it's your season, it's your season abundantly. So don't compare your journey to everyone else's. The inspiration for me, I work at a high school. I talk to young people all the time at my school. I talk to young people all the time at my church through the sorority. And you have to be transparent in your situation. And so the inspiration for me was, I was smart, but I didn't apply myself in high school. And so when it was time to go to college, I'm a first generation college student. When it was time to go to college, I wasn't ready. And so I went to a community college first. And in that community college, I met some individuals who had just finished their doctorate, and they were on fire for education. And as a first generation college student, didn't have a clue what a doctorate was. So as another sister said, someone poured in. This is for Dr. Annie Thompson Moore for me. And this is for Dr. Roosevelt Thomas, who had just finished and poured so much into me and told me that this was the route to go. I started this journey, and then my inspiration, they're in heaven still cheering for me. My inspiration to finish this journey was from my mother. My mother just has a GED. My father has a high school diploma. I grew up in a single parent home. God will give you an opportunity for second chances. So right now I have a primary responsibility of caring for my father, which is great because this is all ordained by God. And so my inspiration to finish was for my mother. She wanted to go to college, but that just was not in the cards for her. So all of this was for her. A little bit about again, in this journey, what I want people to get out of this chapter is that you have to be determined, and nobody can pour that into you but you. You have to be determined, and no matter what, things are going to happen, but no matter what, fear and faith cannot dwell in the same space. So if you have made up in your mind, I'm going to finish, obstacles will come, but you move them out of the way. You're going to have disappointments, and it's okay. Align yourself with the sister circle, people who are thinking like you. I started with a group of women and we finished together. And when I tell you through hardships. We cried, we carried on with each other, but we started together and we walked the stage together. We got our hoods together. We got that title together. So it's important to surround yourself with people who have the same goals that you do, because otherwise they won't understand what you're going through. And yes, it's going to be a balancing act. I had to balance my children, my husband, activities. I'm at the baseball game with an iPad, reading, highlighting, all of that. But when you have it made up in your mind, I'm going to finish, you have to finish. And don't let people talk you out of it. And the main thing is, don't let somebody make you think that you are not worthy. You are worthy of this and more. So don't buy into that. Understand your purpose. Understand that you are worthy of this. And when people say to you, oh, your writing is not up to par, or this is not up to par, understand that is all the intention of the enemy, to get in your head and to convince you that you're not worthy of this. So what are my takeaways? My takeaways, I wrote them down so I could be respectful of the time. My takeaways is that you will experience some pain. You have to be persistent and know your purpose. The purpose of me finishing this dissertation was not just for me. This doctorate is not just for me. It was for my mother, for my teachers, for all of my friends. I had a whole village rooting for me. So my takeaways is that, again, fear and faith cannot dwell in the same place. Get a support group. And you have to have a mentor. And that mentor has to be someone that you can be vulnerable with. If you cannot be vulnerable in this process, it's going to happen. You may think you are the strongest woman in America, but this process will break you down, where you will start questioning who you are. Am I capable of doing this? Did I take on too much? And I want to leave you sisters with this, and I want to see who can top this. When I started my doctoral program, I had a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I was on campus with a sippy cup in my pocket because I forgot to give it to my sisters or somebody who were picking up the kids. But just know that when it's in your mind, you got it in your heart that you are going to finish, you will finish.
Oh my goodness, I tell you. And so, ladies, we have now come to the end of the interview, where you are now going to just share, first of all, when the pre-orders are going to begin, when will the books be available, and the question that's on Facebook is, when does the tour date start? So please open your mics, unmute yourselves, and I know you guys have several signings coming up, Atlanta, Pennsylvania. So I want you to take the time now to share with everyone your dates. Okay.
Oh.
Anyone who has the first? I know the Atlanta one is April 5th, I think. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So any other dates that have been already settled?
Yes. There will be a book signing. I'm sorry. Yes. There will be a book signing in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Friday, May 17th from 7 to 9 downtown at the Lancaster Marriott, and it will be a red carpet affair.
All right. May 17th, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I love it. Any others that have been planned?
This is Kennedi. I'm from Chicago, the Windy City, but I will be traveling to Atlanta with Pia, the Doc Scott, April 5th through the 7th, and I'm excited about being there. And for all of my Windy City, Chicago friends, I will be planning something in the spring. It's cold here. We have to deal
yes.
with the vortex, so I have to wait till I can actually go outside without a jacket on before I can plan anything. So
I love it.
Forthcoming, but I will say to my friends in Chicago, it will be at the Live Cafe, which is on Oak Park Avenue in Oak Park, Illinois, but we will wait until the weather is warmer.
I love it.
So, real quick, I think Dr. Jermani, I'm not sure if we talked about her takeaways.
Oh, Dr.
I'm not
Jermani.
sure.
Dr. Jermani, did we miss
inspiration?
You? Dr.
Yes,
Jermani?
but I didn't miss me.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're gonna put a pause on the dates. I'm trying to manage everything. Thank you. No, we gotta get you. Dr. Jermani, please tell us your inspiration
Come on,
as
Silver,
well
come
as
through.
that's right, exactly. And
Silver.
your takeaways. Please take it away, Dr. Jermani.
Well, that's all right. Online, I was the tail, so I'm used to going last. I'm the one holding everybody else up, so I got everybody right here. No worries whatsoever. The title of my chapter is Yet I Rose. And listening to all of you wonderful ladies, it is definitely a common theme and a thread that runs through all of our stories. So I, too, have been accused of being sassy, but I tell people I'm sassy, I'm sexy, and I'm saved. So it's okay. You own it. You know what you are, you know whose you are. And what was the inspiration behind my chapter? I'm an avid reader. I like words. So I do have a quote in there that says, research is formalized curiosity. It is poking and prying with a purpose. So there's that other P word again, and that is Zora Neale Hurston. And when I started my undergraduate degree, I started as an English major because I did like words and I like to read. So one thing that I want people to take away from my chapter is my path to a doctorate degree was not a straight line. I started it. It took me all of those 5 years, not until I found myself after taking a 9-month hiatus, going through some things with a layoff and a divorce and other things that happen in life, finding myself in Phoenix, Arizona, laying on a bathroom floor, curled up in the fetal position, boohoo crying, and I am a germaphobe. So once the realization came to me that I was on a women's bathroom floor, something just clicked. I finished up my degree, I did what I needed to do, and I lived by this mantra of be courageous, be bold, be italic, but never be regular. And I have never been regular again. So what I want people to take away from my chapter, knowing we're getting close to the end of the hour, is what I have as the mission of my company, which is I help people unleash the power behind their passion. So that's another P word. We all talk about purpose, but what is your passion? What is the thing you're passionate about that you love to do, that if nobody paid you to do it, you would want to do it anyway? And some of us shrink back because of those microaggressions, because of difficulties, because of obstacles, but how do you persevere in the face of that? So I want to make sure that people stay curious, that they stay bold, and then all of what we need to do in thinking through that is to thine own self be true. So what I've heard many of you say is, we're all standing on the shoulders of someone, and unfortunately, many times in America, people are riding the backs of African American women, but we are standing on someone's shoulders because they're lifting us up and not trying to oppress us and push us down. So we thank the ancestors and we appreciate them for what they've done, and our sister circles as well. And I always want to end with pause for the cause, because one thing I did not do that I have learned to do is self-care, because self-care is a prerequisite to self-preservation in this journey for those of you who have not finished. So please do not give up, do not give in, be bold, and take that away for whatever it's worth. And I will be here April the 5th with Pia and the other ladies who are joining us here in Atlanta. It will be a little warmer by then. So I am in Metro Atlanta. I don't have to travel far, but I am going to do whatever I can to be near you all to enjoy the festivities, so I don't have to try to get back to the other side of town.
I love it. And you know what? You said a lot, but let me tell you, sassy, sexy, and saved. I love it.
It's already on the shirt. Don't try it, Dr. Porter. Don't try it.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Ladies, when I tell you I cannot wait to meet you guys, I plan to be in Atlanta. I plan to be in Pennsylvania. And goodness, I want to come to Chicago as well. In the spring.
In the spring or summer.
Yes, definitely. We're going to leave the winter alone. But ladies, I tell you, what a fantastic group that you have here. And I'm not sure if each of you knew each other, but what bond has been formed here at this point. I want to say congratulations. And what starts March 1st? pre-sales, pre-orders. So this is now what I want you to do. Please share where people can follow you and contact you so that they can get that link when you put it out for pre-orders. And we're going to start with Pia. Pia, what social media are you on? Where can people follow you and connect with you?
So under IG, Pia the Doc Scott, you can follow me there. Also on my website, Career Lit Consulting Services. You can go there and purchase the book as well. And I will be posting another link via Facebook, and that's Pia the Doc Scott there. So you can click on that link and it will go straight to the website to order.
Thank you, Pia. Dr. Whylly, where can people connect and follow you and eventually get the link to purchase the book from you?
So on Facebook, I am Danielle Whylly, or Danielle Sweat, which is my maiden name. And on Instagram, I am Dr. DS Dub, and that's DRDS Dub. And you can always call or text me, and I could send you a link to purchase that as well for those that already have my contact information. And then by email, I am Dr. spelled out DOCTOR Whylly, WHYLLY @gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Janeé Stevenson, please share your contact information.
So I am on Facebook as Janeé, Janee, Nicole, NICOLE. So that's my Facebook name. And then on Instagram, I am Janeé Nicole 1913. So I will be making sure that I have links so that people can purchase through those two sources.
Thank you, Janeé. Dr. Yavetta Wood, your contact information.
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Yavetta Wood, and my email is yavetta@gmail. I do have an Instagram, but I haven't used it in quite some time, so I would have to get back with what my name is. I actually am not on social media very much, but I will work on that.
I love it. Thank you so much. Dr. Latinia Shell.
Yes, I have a website, and it is www.lancaster-counseling.com. And so you can find all my information there. I am on Facebook. I have a business Facebook page, and it's at Diversity Works CSCT. I also am on LinkedIn. You can find me under Dr. Latinia Shell. I am also on Instagram, and you can find me at Latinia Shell. And am I missing anything? I think I covered everything. I'm on Facebook as well under Dr. Latinia Shell under my personal.
Thank you, Dr. Shell. Dr. Jermani Thompson.
All right. On Instagram, I am at Dr. Dr_J². On Twitter, I am Call Me Dr. J. Email is j2consultant@gmail.com. LinkedIn is Jermani Hines Thompson, and that's Jermani with a J, JERMANI. And my company website is www.j2managementconsulting.com.
Thank you. Dr. Kennedi Dixon, all the way from Chicago.
All the way from Chicago. I am on Facebook as Kennedi Strickland Dixon. I am on email at kennedydixon@gmail.com. And if people just reach out to me that way, I definitely will share the link with them. I don't have my website up yet for Hope Educational Consulting Firm because I just got my approval from my state. So eventually that website will be up. Shameless plug, helping students reach the needs of diverse learners.
I love it. And I think that is everybody. I think Dr. Liz jumped off as she was on the phone driving. So we didn't miss anyone, right, for contact information? Okay. Okay, awesome. So, ladies, again, I want to say thank you. What a fantastic interview tonight and an insight into your chapters. Remember, viewing audience, pre-sales start Friday, March 1st. You better get on this. This is dynamic. And meet us in one of those spaces in Atlanta, in Lancaster, and in the spring in Chicago. Any last words from you, Dr. Scott?
Yes, so I cannot leave this without saying this. I just want to thank Dr. David Staton, Dr. Ahmad Washington, Dr. Bridget Hollis Staton, and also Dr. Michelle Malsby, South Carolina State University graduate, alum, grad and undergrad, Drexel University, doctorate in higher education, leadership and management. And I just want to thank my support at South Carolina State University, and they have just been awesome. So I cannot leave without saying thanks to my SCSU family.
I love it. So, guys, I look forward to seeing you.
April 6th is the book
sign. Go ahead. Go ahead.
April 6th is the book sign in Atlanta, and so I'm looking forward to that and seeing you all there, whoever can make that.
Absolutely. So, ladies, again, thank you so much for spending this last hour and a half with us, getting to know you just a little more in your chapters. Just so phenomenal. So congratulations to you all of you.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Porter, for a wonderful interview.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Guys, this has been another wonderful episode of Write the Book Now Live. Again, How I Got Over the Educational Pursuit of Black Female Scholars will be on pre-sale on Friday, March 1st. Follow any of these ladies to get your copy. And again, you can follow Write the Book Now on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Write the Book Now. I am Dr. Sharon, and that is Dr. Sharon. You can follow me as well across social media platforms at I am Dr. Sharon. Good night, guys, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.